Support WrestleTalk!
Share this video on social media. Thanks for your support on Patreon, Astounding Abdullah Alenzi. Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk Super News. I'm Ollie Davis. We've got a packed show for you today, including Goldberg in a physical altercation with another WWE star, Chris Benoit's son potentially going to AEW, and Raw and SmackDown getting brand new sets. Click the timestamps in the video description below to jump to any of those stories right now and answer our question of the day in the comments down below. What do you want to see from WWE's Raw and SmackDown redesigns? Because I'll be answering comments from out of nowhere, just talking about the fisting and the fist just breaking through the glass, the fisting. But first, congratulations Miz and Maryse, who just successfully reproduced to create a new human child over the weekend. Science. And because it's 2019, Maryse announced the news on the gram, posting a picture of a tiny foot in Maryse, Miz and their other daughter Monroe Sky's hands with the caption, "We've got the whole world in our hands." Bray Wyatt gimmick infringement. Welcome Madison Jade Mizanam, born the 20th of September 2019, 8:02 a.m. and weighed in at an incredible 7 pounds 15 ounces heart emoji. It's amazing news for the couple, and it doesn't just mean a safe and healthy birth. It also means new storyline content for Miz and Mrs. on the USA Network from 8 p.m. Eastern. The wrestling world sent their well wishes to the now slightly larger Miz Family Wrestling faction, with Chelsea Green posting, "Congratulations," Renee Young liking the post, and Peyton Royce saying, "So happy for you guys. Hearts in eyes emoji. Australian accent." Nailed it. But one person wasn't so pleased. Boo. 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 With Miz's real-life BFF Zack Ryder commenting, "Wow, nice to learn that one of my best friends had a baby by reading Instagram that she was born 2 days ago. Suck 2019. And that's not the only congratulations in order, as the winner of PWG's Battle of Los Angeles 2019 has been crowned. Battle of Los Angeles, or BOLA as it's often abbreviated to, is one of the most prestigious independent wrestling tournaments in the world, running annually since 2005 and having winners such as Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, and Ricochet years before they break through on a global stage. It's no King of the Ring, of course, but it's still one of the best predictors of future wrestling stardom on the indie scene. And last night we got our 2019 winner. So if you don't want to know, skip ahead to the timestamp on screen now, because we're entering the Spoiler Room Brawl in 3, 2, CM Punk returned and he beat Stone Cold Steve Austin in a TLC match for ownership of New Japan. Just kidding. 1. Congratulations to Bandido, who defeated David Starr and Jonathan Gresham in the 3-way final. Bandido was one of the most sought-after wrestlers in the world following his main event at All In last September, and is currently signed with Ring of Honor after they outbid both AEW and WWE. His contract is reportedly up at the end of this year though, so expect another bidding war to start soon as AEW versus WWE intensifies. I wonder how else WWE could compete with AEW. Fist through the stage segue! Fisting! Both Raw and SmackDown, along with almost every WWE pay-per-view, have all had pretty much the same set since 2008, when the company switched to HD broadcasting and they bought a really expensive giant LED screen. Before then, WWE would freshen up the looks of Raw and SmackDown every 3 to 4 years. It's gotten pretty stale. But with SmackDown moving to Fox and new competition in AEW, it seems WWE is finally going to change up their TV look, with the very reliable WrestleVotes tweeting, "This coming week of TV is the final week with the current entrance stage. Both Raw and SmackDown are getting an updated, fresh-feeling set," and then confirming both Raw and SmackDown would have different sets rather than both sharing the same stage again. If correct, this report means both WWE's main roster brands will debut their new sets on the week SmackDown moves to Fox, and just as crucially, when AEW debuts on TNT. And with Roman Reigns rumored to be one of the featured Friday night stars following the draft, perhaps updating SmackDown's old fist design would make more sense with his Superman punch just fisting its way through WWE. fisting. And it's not just the sets that will change, with the draft freshening up the Raw and SmackDown wrestling rosters, which will also reportedly include the announcing teams, with Michael Cole and Corey Graves moving to Friday nights, and 205 Live's duo of Vic Joseph and newcomer Dio Madden getting called up to Raw. This will mark the welcome return of two-man booths, man being the operative word there, as Renee Young will find herself the odd person out. Young will reportedly instead be used on WWE's new studio show for FS1, as the Fox network are very high on her, and now the big lead has a few more details. The current working title of the show is WWE Backstage, but the company has also filed trademarks for WWE After the Bell and WWE The Bump, and it'll see Young present alongside a yet-to-be-decided co-host. The article notes several names are being discussed, including but not limited to Booker T, Edge, Christian and Paige. We're all rooting for you, Coach Man! Finally, the report reveals the show will debut on Tuesday the 5th of November, a month after SmackDown moves to Fox. And you really know it's all hands on WWE deck when Brock Lesnar shows up to work. After his shock return in the opening segment of last week's SmackDown, where he challenged Kofi Kingston to a WWE Championship match on Friday the 4th of October, the premiere of the show on Fox, Lesnar is now being advertised for several more WWE dates. Brock will be at the 30th of September Raw in Phoenix, Arizona, likely to shoot a go-home angle for his championship match that Friday, and after his title match and, let's be honest, title win on Friday the 4th, he'll be appearing on the following SmackDown's draft episode in Las Vegas, the October 25th episode of SmackDown 2 weeks after that in Kansas City, and then the November 15th episode 3 weeks after that in Philadelphia, which is the week before Survivor Series. Yay! We're gonna have Brock as a mostly absent champion again. I've been so bored seeing the WWE title on TV every week, but how will AEW compete? By booking Chris Benoit's son, potentially. Chris Benoit was one of the greatest ever in-ring wrestlers, but his legacy was unforgivably tarnished when he murdered both his wife and son in June 2007 before hanging himself. The Benoit name was all but erased from WWE in the decades since, with him being edited out of key moments in their history. In recent years, this policy has been relaxed, although Benoit remains a banned reference in the company's on-screen product. Benoit's son David, from his previous marriage, however, has followed his father's footsteps into professional wrestling and has spoken about his desire to join AEW in an interview with the Pro and Bro podcast with Fred Rosser. I love AEW. That's a good time, good quality product, some good wrestling. I love AEW. I love what they do for the boys. Take care of them. Benoit even said how he's training with a few of the AEW roster right now, and how close he is with their current world champion Chris Jericho, who had many classic matches with his father. Bill Goldberg was also rumored to go to AEW earlier this year, when he became one of the few wrestlers to be followed by one of the promotion's official Twitter accounts, and then to follow back, even being name-dropped in the original All Elite Wrestling story by S.E. Scoops, months before the promotion was officially unveiled. He, of course, returned to WWE earlier this year instead, for one bad match against The Undertaker in Super Arabia, and one significantly more fun match at SummerSlam against Dolph Ziggler. That match was only set up 6 days before the event though, so Bill's presumably doing all the feud's groundwork now to make up for it. On Friday night, Goldberg posted this video of him having a physical altercation in a Las Vegas restaurant. It shouldn't have been me! The two men pulling Goldberg and Ziggler apart were MMA fighters Eric Anders and Roy Nelson, not Aleister Black like I'd originally thought, as Goldberg references in his video caption, "What happens in Vegas obviously doesn't stay in Vegas. Fury face emoji!" Dude, you shared the clip. My usual stop at Andiamo's Italian Steakhouse to see Bellator fighter Roy Nelson came with an unexpected surprise. Looks like Dolph Ziggler and I still don't see eye to eye. Fortunately for him, I wasn't still hungry, and UFC fighter Eric Anders was there to help him get away. Hashtag spear, hashtag jackhammer, hashtag who's next, hashtag a bunch of assorted tag team companies selling workout drinks and muscle cars. seems to be who's next. What makes this all even more bizarre is this appears to have happened at the birthday party of Kendra Lust, who I'm told is an adult actress, but I wouldn't know anything about those things. Lust was apparently celebrating with Ziggler at her table, along with other WWE wrestler and Dolph's ex-girlfriend, Dana Brooke. Obviously, this seems like a worky McWork face, the technical term for a staged altercation to set up a wrestling storyline. But if that were the case, you'd expect WWE to feature it heavily on their own social media, and they certainly wouldn't have allowed the rather coarse language in Dolph's follow-up reply. Dipshit took a break from ruining wrestling to ruin my night off. I'm not interested. Get a hobby or go fishing or something. Maybe you can do that without getting hurt. No other warning or comments on this from me. Thanks. And it wouldn't be a Goldberg story in 2019 without NXT wrestler and former UFC fighter Matt Riddle getting in his own shot on social media, who tweeted in reply to the video, "Why didn't you try this with me, sad face emoji? I would have had an even better story for watch along." Matt is referring to Goldberg confronting him backstage at SummerSlam over Riddle's comments calling him an unsafe worker and not a good professional wrestler during Goldberg's Undertaker match at Super Showdown. While the default assumption should be worky McWorkface because professional wrestling, it is odd that Ziggler and Goldberg would start building a rematch between the two when the first one wasn't just one decisive 2-minute squash match at SummerSlam, but actually 3, as Goldberg laid Ziggler out multiple times in a row. Watch an amazing strong-style wrestling match in full between Rampage Brown and All Japan legend Shuji Ishikawa by clicking the video on screen now in the WrestleTalk Showcase season finale on what WWE draft moves need to happen. Click the video below that to find out more. I've been Ollie Davis, and that was wrestling.